like us to add to research about you?
Yes, there is. Thank you for asking that. One of the elements that was very, very important to me, I told them earlier that I'm a Chicano. I grew up working with the Chicano community, and then as I worked more and more, I realized that there were a lot more people involved in the quest for justice than just Chicanos. So I reached out to African American communities, Native American communities, Native, Asian, and white folk who were involved in justice issues. And I became very committed to multiracial, multi-ethnic justice. Very committed. Some of my Chicano friends would have preferred that I focus just on Chicanos, but I felt that I needed to work with everyone, and I needed to help others bring all those communities together to work together in the quest for justice. One of those early attempts was in 1977. Were you guys born then?
1977?
No. Right. I, along with some friends, called together the first conference, probably in the country, I don't know, it's hard to say, on immigration issues. Because, immigration is really big now. It was even bigger then. Deportations were taking place all this time. Harassment was taking place all the time. Young families were sent back. You realize now that the new law that the president presented, kids who were born here and or have gone to school here from Mexico, for instance, or any other country, can now remain here. And so can their families. Well, at that time, that wasn't happening. So we brought together hundreds of people to try to see how we could impact legislation and the policy of immigration to protect folk. We had two of those conferences in Berkeley, bringing together people from all over the country to see if we could make some impact. So that was very important. One of the things we discovered that we weren't the only community that was facing immigration problems. So the next gathering we had, we included Pacific and Asian American people, because at that time the Philippine people had a lot of problems with immigration, and other places had the same thing. So it doesn't take much to realize that even if you start with a small focus or a smaller focus, you start realizing, wow, this is bigger than us. If you remember Martin Luther, raise your hand if you remember Martin Luther King Jr. All right? Oh, good. I don't know if you realize that the later part of his years, he was greatly criticized because supposedly he started including, no, not supposedly, he did include other people in his quest for freedom, including he became anti-Vietnamese War. And so some of his supporters thought